Before you scroll, can we pause for a moment? God is asking you something very personal today. Not for religion, not for performance, but for honesty. He says, can we have a heart-to-heart? This message is for you. Come closer for a moment, not with fear, not with formality, not with rehearsed words or guarded thoughts, but just as you are, because I am not asking you for performance, I am asking you for honesty, and I say to you softly yet clearly today, can we have a heart-to-heart, not a distant conversation, not a rushed prayer squeezed between distractions, but a real moment where you allow me to meet you where you truly are, not where you think you should be, because I already know your thoughts. Before you speak them, I know the questions you carry but rarely voice. I know the exhaustion hidden behind your strength, and I know the faith you still hold even when you feel unsure. I want you to know something first. You do not have to pretend with me. You do not have to clean yourself up before coming into my presence. You do not have to hide your doubts, your disappointments, or your confusion, because I am not uncomfortable with your honesty. I am not threatened by your questions, and I am not disappointed by your weakness, for I am the one who formed your heart, and I understand every emotion that moves within it, even the ones you struggle to understand yourself. You have been carrying a lot quietly, more than you let others see, more than you even allow yourself to acknowledge, and you keep moving forward because you feel you must, because others depend on you, because stopping feels dangerous, because slowing down would force you to feel what you've been pushing aside. And this is why I ask, can we have a heart-to-heart, because I want you to rest in my presence, not just visit me with requests, but remain with me long enough to be renewed. I see how you replay conversations in your mind, how you second-guess your decisions, how you wonder if you missed something or made the wrong choice, and I want you to hear me clearly now. I am not standing over you with disappointment. I am standing beside you with guidance, and even when you took steps without clarity, I remain near, redirecting, protecting, and sustaining you in ways you did not notice at the time. There are things you have been afraid to say out loud, thoughts you have felt guilty for having, prayers you stopped praying because you were afraid of the answer or the silence, but I invite you now to bring all of it to me, because relationship with me was never meant to be built on fear, it was meant to be built on trust, and trust grows when hearts are open. Can we talk about the weariness you feel, the kind that sleep does not fix, the kind that comes from waiting longer than you expected, from believing longer than you planned, from hoping even when disappointment tried to convince you to stop, because I see that weariness and I want to refresh you, not just physically but deep within your spirit, where discouragement has tried to settle. You wonder sometimes if you are behind, if others are moving ahead while you are standing still, if the timing of your life somehow fell out of alignment. But listen to me now, you are not late, you are not forgotten, and you are not off course. You are in a season of shaping, and what feels like stillness is often preparation, what feels like delay is often alignment, and what feels like silence is often deeper instruction. I want to have a heart-to-heart with you about trust, because part of you still holds back, still tries to control outcomes, still fears what might happen if you fully surrender, and I understand that fear because you have been disappointed before, you have trusted before and been hurt, you have hoped before and felt let down, but I am not like those who failed you, and I will not mishandle your heart. Talk to me about the things that confuse you, the prayers that seem unanswered, the doors that closed without explanation, because I want you to know that even the closed doors served a purpose. Even the unanswered prayers carried protection, and even the detours were guided by my hand, though you could not see it then. I know you have been strong for a long time and strength became a habit, but you were never meant to carry everything alone, and you do not need to impress me with endurance because I am drawn to your honesty far more than your resilience, and when you finally lay down the weight you have been carrying, you will feel my peace begin to replace it. Can we talk about your heart, the way it still loves deeply despite being wounded? The way it still hopes quietly despite disappointment, the way it still reaches for me even when uncertainty tries to pull you away, because that tells me more about your faith than any words ever could. I want to reassure you today that I am closer than you feel, more involved than you realize, and more committed to you than you sometimes believe, and nothing you are facing has taken me by surprise. Nothing you are feeling has pushed me away, and nothing about your current season is outside of my ability to redeem. There is healing happening beneath the surface, growth happening in unseen places, and strength being built quietly, and one day you will look back and recognize this season not as loss, but as foundation, not as delay, but as development, not as absence, but as intimacy. So sit with me for a moment longer, breathe, release the pressure you have placed on yourself, let go of the need to have everything figured out, and trust that my love for you does not change based on your progress, your understanding, or your certainty, for I love you because you are mine. And I ask you once more, gently and sincerely, can we have a heart-to-heart today, tomorrow, and beyond, not just when things hurt, not just when you need answers, but because you want to be close, because relationship is what your soul was made for, and I am always here, ready to listen. Stay with me a little longer because there are still things I want to speak to you that you have not allowed yourself to hear yet. Not because you are unwilling, but because life has been loud, expectations have been heavy, and you have learned how to survive by keeping certain parts of your heart guarded. And I understand why you did that, I truly do, but I want you to know that with me, you are safe enough to open those places again. I want to talk to you about the disappointment you never processed, the moments you told yourself you were fine while something quietly cracked inside, the prayers that ended with acceptance instead of hope, not because you stopped believing in me, but because you were tired of being let down, and I want you to know I never judged you for that. I never stepped back when your faith felt fragile. I leaned in closer, because faith is not measured by how strong you appear but by whether you are still willing to come back to me even when you feel unsure. There are questions you have been carrying that don't sound spiritual enough to ask, questions like why it had to hurt that much, why it took so long, why things didn't turn out the way you believed they would, and I want you to know that I am not offended by those questions, I am not threatened by your confusion, and I am not distant from your grief, because I was there in every moment you felt overlooked, every moment you felt misunderstood, every moment you wondered if what you were doing even mattered. Can we have a heart-to-heart about control, because part of you still feels like if you don't manage everything carefully, everything might fall apart, and you learned that from having to be strong too early, from realizing you couldn't always rely on others the way you hoped. And while that strength kept you going, it also exhausted you, and I want you to know you don't have to carry that burden alone anymore. There are things you've been trying to figure out that were never meant to be solved by effort alone, paths that require trust instead of pressure, answers that will come through peace rather than striving, and I want you to hear me say this gently. You don't have to rush, you don't have to prove anything, and you don't have to have it all together for me to walk with you. I know you sometimes replay the past, wondering if one decision changed everything, if one mistake redirected your life, if you somehow missed the moment that mattered most, but I want you to understand that my grace is not that fragile, my plans are not that easily undone, and your life is not hanging by a single choice you made while doing the best you could with what you knew at the time. I also want to talk to you about hope, because you haven't stopped hoping, you've just learned how to hold it quietly, protectively, afraid that if you hope too openly again it might hurt the same way it did before, and I understand that, but I want to remind you that hope anchored in me will never shame you, never abandon you, and never lead you into emptiness, even if the path looks different than you imagined. There are doors ahead of you that will open not because you forced them, but because you waited, trusted, and stayed close to me, and when they open you will walk through with a depth, humility, and peace you wouldn't have had if everything came easily, and you will realize that nothing in this season was wasted. Can we have a heart-to-heart about how hard you've been on yourself, the expectations you place on your own growth, the timelines you secretly measure yourself against, the way you criticize yourself for not being further along? And I want you to know that I am not standing over you with a list, I am walking with you with patience, and I delight in your progress even when you focus on what's unfinished. I see the way you still choose kindness, still show compassion, still try to do what's right even when it would be easier to close off, and I want you to know that those choices matter more than you realize, not just to others but to me, and they are shaping you into someone who can carry what is coming without losing their heart. So let's keep talking, let's keep this connection open, let's move beyond rushed prayers and distant faith into something real, something daily, something where you feel safe to bring every part of yourself to me, because I am not going anywhere, I am not pulling away, and I am not finished with you. And I ask you again, softly, sincerely, without pressure or demand, can we have a heart-to-heart? Not because you need fixing, but because you are loved, and I want you to know that more deeply than ever before. Come even closer now, because this part of the conversation is quieter, deeper, and meant only for you, not rushed, not shared, not filtered, but received in the stillness, because there are things I want to heal that can only be healed where silence and trust meet. And I know you are used to listening for answers in noise, signs, or sudden change, but sometimes my work in you happens in the soft places where you finally stop bracing yourself for what might go wrong. I want to talk to you about the ways you learn to protect yourself, the emotional walls that once kept you safe but now make it harder to receive love freely, the distance you create not because you don't care, but because you care deeply and don't want to feel disappointment again. And I want you to know I see that, I honor the strength it took to survive, but I am inviting you now into a season where survival gives way to healing. There are parts of you that still flinch when things begin to go well, parts of you that expect something to fall apart the moment you start to relax. And that expectation didn't come from nowhere, it came from experience, from learning that security could be temporary. But listen to me now, I am not temporary, my presence does not disappear, and my love does not change with circumstances. Can we have a heart-to-heart about trust again? Because trust isn't built by never being hurt, it's rebuilt by learning who stays when things are uncertain. And I have stayed through your doubt, through your waiting, through your silence, through your questions, and through your wandering thoughts, and I will continue to stay not because you earned it, but because I chose you. I know you sometimes wonder if you've become too cautious, too measured, too careful with your emotions, faith, and expectations. And while wisdom has grown in you, I don't want fear to disguise itself as wisdom. I want you to trust again, slowly, gently, at a pace that feels safe, knowing that I am watching over you, correcting your steps, and guarding what matters. There is healing happening in you that doesn't announce itself, healing that looks like peace where anxiety once lived, clarity where confusion dominated, patience where frustration once ruled, and strength where weariness once settled. And these changes matter deeply, even if no one else notices them yet. I want you to know that you haven't lost your sensitivity, you haven't lost your kindness, and you haven't lost your capacity for wonder. You have simply been learning discernment, and discernment does not mean closing your heart. It means learning where to place it safely, and your heart is always safest with me. Can we talk about the future for a moment, not with pressure or timelines, but with trust, because part of you worries that life will always feel this heavy, this uncertain, this guarded, but I want to assure you that this is not your final chapter. This is a turning point, a soft rebuilding, a quiet strengthening, and what comes next will feel more aligned, more grounded, and more peaceful than what came before. You do not need to chase answers, force clarity, or demand certainty, because when the time is right, understanding will meet you where you are, and until then, my presence is enough, my peace is enough, and my love is enough to carry you through what you do not yet understand. So remain with me, keep choosing honesty, keep opening your heart a little more each day, and trust that I am working in ways far deeper than you can see. And remember, this heart-to-heart is always open, not just in moments of need, but in moments of calm, growth, and gratitude as well. And I ask you one last time, not as a question that pressures you, but as an invitation that comforts you. Can we have a heart-to-heart always, because I am here and I am not letting go.